Okay, I think we're live now, bud.
Cool. I'll give it a share while we're at it.
Oh, cool. Cool. Yeah, this is my channel, dude. Like, this isn't your channel, so we'll probably get like 80 people watching.
That's
Okay.
fine.
Okay,
I'll
that's
give it a
cool.
share real quick, though. Let me see. Everyday Masters. Is that us? No, hang on. Ah, there we are. Okay.
Cool.
All right.
So yeah, you just go live all the time, right? Like it's
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's funny that you say that because what I was just doing was wrapping up a pre-recorded video for my channel. Because like I said, we're switching things up, changing things up, trying to do different things and whatnot. And I found out, and this is something that we just recently found out. So over the last year and a half, my YouTube checks have been getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And we've been freaking out. Like, what is going on? We finally found out what it was. About a year and a half ago, they changed the monetization settings where it says this, it's worded really weird and it's confusing, where it says this video was done with legacy monetization settings. Updating it will only give you the chance to turn mid-rolls on or off or something like that. Yeah. And so I just kind of figured that, oh, okay, so they're just doing it automatically now and I can't choose it. Nope. Unless I click that update button, there's only one ad per video.
Oh, I got you.
But we just found that out like a week or so ago. So, that's been another thing that's been adding to some of the frustrations,
Yeah, totally.
This past couple of years has just been a test for everybody in one way or another, I think,
Yeah, no, I'm feeling it for sure. We text all the time, like once a month, but we haven't talked in a while. You digging Vegas? Like that's
oh man, dude. I'm so glad.
Bathroom, like I think I checked on something like yesterday or today, had a little mold in the bathroom, had to like clean that up or something like that.
Yeah. We're so glad to be back home. Leah is one of those types of people it's funny because she was just saying the other day, you know what a job would be that I could be really good at? A home inspector. Because she's one of those people, she can walk into a room and point out every imperfection in the room. She can say, oh my, that wall up there doesn't come together right. And this, and she can see all that stuff. So yeah, she just noticed a little bit of mold in the shower. So she decided to rip all the caulking out.
Yeah, that's good, man. Somebody's got to notice that.
Yeah, I'm like, well, I can do that if you want me to. No, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, do your thing, then. But no, we are so glad to be back home, dude. So
awesome,
glad,
dude.
So glad.
That California stint was kind of nutso, bro.
Oh man, yeah. I'm still okay. So ever since then, I've been going through the biggest lesson of having to learn how to practice what I preach. And this has been a hard one. This has been a really hard one because I'm constantly having to remind myself when people are going through things that like what I was going through and they come to me for advice. And I'm constantly having to take my own advice and realize, damn, this shit is hard.
It's hard
because I'm still at a place and I don't even like hearing myself say this because I know better than this, but there's still a big part of me that completely regrets even doing that.
Yeah.
I feel like I just screwed everything up. I should have just left well enough alone. I jumped off my path and did some shit I was not supposed to do. And I know better than that,
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes we don't, like sometimes we don't. Well, I remember right before you went, you came to Fort Collins and we were chilling and you're like, dude, this is kind of cool. Like, I think you guys were getting ready to move for something. And then the California thing hit and you're like, dude, I'm out, I'm going to Sunshine State. So
yeah. Well, I mean, as far as whether that was a part of my path or not, I don't know. But as far as being able to transmute the energy of the experience, which is what a big thing that I teach people to do is, no matter what your experience was, you can energetically take it, mess with it and flip it and turn it into something that works out for you. And I know that, so I've been struggling with that. I've been struggling with that, and I'm still struggling with that to this day. I still have to remind myself on a daily basis, one of these days it's going to make sense.
Yeah.
One of these days, I don't know how long, it's already been 2 years. In March, it was 2 years ago that we moved to California.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm still like sitting back here like, what the fuck was the So,
funny.
but yeah, we're so glad to be back, man. I don't know what it is about this place. So we're as far away from the strip as you can get. I mean, you can see the strip out our window, but I mean, it's so far away. We're away from all the noise. We're in the very, very back of a really big, vast suburb complex at the foot of Black Mountain. So, but just something about the energy of this place. I just love the vibe. And I've never felt that anywhere in the country ever. So as of now, I have no plans of ever going anywhere else.
This is it, man. Yeah. That's awesome, man. It's cool.
But we have no idea where the world is going, because now we're finally starting to see a lot of changes. And, no telling what games are going to be played to make the changes happen. But we're now starting to see a big change of timelines happening now. And that's good. To me.
That's good, man. That's good.
Yeah. So,
I mean, if you're one of those people that think that, we've been kicking the can down forever and, this old system can't continue into the fourth density. It has to, shit has to change. So, we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah. It's weird. I mean, I don't know why it always surprises me that I think I have an idea of how they're going to do it. And then when they start doing it, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I had no, what they're doing now so what they're doing now to collapse the system. It's kind of apparent as to how they're going to play it out. Like, wow, I didn't expect that.
Yeah. But it has some cool things with just stupid stuff. I think I came into this world what's the word? Government, just anti, I just, in my DNA, I just knew that this shit is not good and it has to come down. And I don't know, I'm just kind of happy to see just stupid stuff, just kind of I probably shouldn't get into it, but just the gold and silver. You know what I mean? Yeah, dude, go into Fort Knox. Just check it out. Just see, is there anything there, bro? Or is it, lead covered in gold paint? I literally don't, I've never really trusted the government on anything forever.
Yeah.
So,
well,
I voted for Trump, but I'm just dude, anything is better than I've just always kind of inherently thought that there was waste in. I mean, when I grew up, dude, I remember reports coming out that we were paying $700 for toilet seats and shit. And I was just wow, somebody's taking advantage of something, man. Something's going on, man. You guys are hiding some stuff.
Yeah. Well, so there's an analogy that I came up with for what we're going through right now. And the analogy is, if you could imagine, there's this big mansion, okay? 20,000 square foot mansion. And in one of the rooms, they have this big bird cage where they've been raising all these birds. Okay. And there's two people who are arguing about what to do with the birds. One person wants to kill a bunch of them because they're getting out of control. The other person says, no, fuck that. Open up the door to this room and let them fly around the rest of the mansion. Okay. So this is what I'm getting at here is there's no people out there who are the saviors. They're both in control. They both have power over you. It's just that one of the people wants to take it to the next level and give you a little bit more, but you're still enclosed in a building. We're still in the game. We're still stuck in the game, even though we move up to the next density or dimension. We still can't even comprehend it. We're just still in a mansion that's in a town, that's in a state, that's in a, you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I had a client yesterday and we were talking about, somehow we started talking about awakening. And I was like, well, dude, there's there's two types of awakening, and they're completely different. They have completely different results in the world. One of them is the awakening that, you know, I feel like I'm in, and it's like this heightened awareness of your reality, and you feel this connection and love, and you see how we're connected. You see how this game's working, and that creates like this, you know, love, like this union with your fellow man. And then there's the other wake when you're just now realizing that you've been lied to forever, and that you know what I mean, like you're in this, and I was like, dude, that doesn't create love. Like that creates fuck that guy, like, you know, that creates division. And I was just, it was just like, so I guess my point was, is like, I would love for people to skip to the second awakening.
Yeah.
But it's like you just said, you have to realize there is a prison before you can break out of the prison. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I was like, yeah, I mean, I guess that makes total sense, man.
Well, and you know what? I don't remember if I mentioned this before, but I was going through, well, my awakening journey is crazy, but the first awakening, I was going through that when I first came across your videos. And like that one video of yours that I always reference when you started off by saying, come to the edge or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there was somewhere in that video where you say something to the effect of, everybody's always complaining about they're poisoning our food, they're poisoning our water, they're poisoning our air.
So
I'm like, so what? It didn't work.
Yeah.
And when I heard that, I was like, oh, that me hearing you say that was what helped me not get sucked into that fear and anger. I'm like, oh, right, it didn't work, you know? So
yeah, we're waking up, dude. Like, this isn't supposed to happen to them. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. You know, we've talked several times, and you know, I always feel kind of like an old soul on this planet. Like, I kind of feel like I've done this game enough times to where I feel comfortable and like it's not overwhelming. And you've always mentioned that you kind of feel like a newbie.
Yeah.
Like you're like, you know, we both were, you know, millions upon millions of us have made this decision to come here to help with this shift, to help our brothers and sisters wake up, you know, move into the heart chakra, move into this fourth density. Was there a time? Because when you told me that you were like a newbie, I actually just kind of blew it off, because I was like, no, he's not a newbie. Like, he's done this before. But one time we were sitting there and you started telling me how weird everything is, like how we eat and how like sex and like everything. And I was like, you know what? He's fucking right, dude. Like, this is weird. Like, this is a weird experience down here. Yeah. So my question was, you can only see this in retrospect, because I didn't know what was happening. I can only look back to me in retrospect. But do you feel like your galactic heritage was revealed to you in ways, like, I'm sure now you probably had a reading or something, like, you know, where am I from? Like, where's, you know, like, where was the last place I was from before I came to Earth? And I don't know if you have, but do you, is there a feeling like, do you feel akin to any specific, like, galactic heritage? Like, for me, it's the Pleiades. Like, there's no question that, I mean, when you're 25 years old and you're in college and some dude gives a speech on the Hopi Indians and you pack up all your shit and leave college and drive to the Hopi reservation by yourself with no money, and like, you know, I'm being drawn there, you know, like, clearly there's a reason. So did you ever had like any kind of like like, dude, I'm not from here. And then you're like, ooh, this feels right. And then later in life, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah. That's really layered. I've been working on how I'm going to piece all that together and explain it for a long time. My whole life. I can remember being 4 years old, looking around at everybody at daycare saying, how do they know what to do?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what to do or how
Yeah.
to act. Every move I make, I'm getting in trouble for it. And I
Yeah.
just look around at all the other kids and they just know what to do. They know how to act, you know? My whole life, I felt so out of place. But it's only been here over the past like 2 years that I've really started actually looking up at the sky like, yo, fucking come talk to me, you know? Now here's another weird thing that I just kind of uncovered the other day. I'm thinking for the first time, I'm realizing that I think I was abducted when I was a 4-year-old kid.
Mm-hmm.
There was this strange experience that happened to me that burned itself into my brain my whole life. And I didn't realize that I think it was an abduction. This was just like 2 or 3 days ago that I'm laying there meditating.
Oh, okay.
And it was so weird. I'm like 4 years old. All of a sudden, I find myself, the only way I can describe it is, you know, in like big warehouses, how they have rafters, big metal rafters that go across the ceiling, up on the ceiling.
Yeah.
I find myself walking on one of those, just walking. And right in front of me, there's a marble and it's rolling. And this is the crazy part. If you could imagine that you are in an IMAX theater watching a glass marble roll down a metal beam with the volume cranked up all the way. It was so loud. It was like coming from inside of me.
Yeah.
And it was just everything other than that glass marble rolling was beyond silence. I don't even have a word for how silent it was. It was more silent than silence. And it flashed from that to me being mauled by a cartoon bear.
Wow.
And I think that was a screen memory because I've been hearing that they implant screen memories in you that are weird, that don't make any sense. And I snapped awake and I'm laying on my bed at like 6 o'clock in the evening. And I had no clue how I got there. And I ran out of my room. My grandpa was just sitting there watching TV. And I'm like terrified. I'm like, what was that? I never said anything to anybody about it. But that burned itself into my brain as the most terrifyingly crazy, weird experience.
Yeah.
And I just kept it quiet for years and just kind of chalked it up to a weird dream that I had. And it wasn't until about 2 or 3 days ago that I'm laying and pulling the frequencies in and meditating like I always do. And I started thinking, I think I was abducted. And I think I was abducted and given a screen memory to try to cover it up. Because I'm hearing people, I've been getting really into like UFOs and abductions and stuff like that. And I've been listening to a lot of that lately. And there's been a lot of people talk about screen memories. They'll plant a screen memory to cover up the experience. And it's usually something that's really bizarre and weird that makes no sense. And they described it, what it kind of felt like to me. They said, you'll just kind of chalk it up to it just being a weird dream, but it's more than a dream. It's something really weird and strange. Yeah. So I don't really know how to answer your question directly. It's just that I've felt extremely out of place my entire life. Yeah. And yes, I've been told by multiple psychics that I'm not from here. Yeah. Now, that doesn't mean that I didn't play a game in a similar place. I think I have been to a similar place with humanoid beings, that's very similar to this, but it wasn't as intense as this.
Yeah.
So that's, does that make sense? Did that answer the question?
Kinda. I mean, I didn't expect you to like pop out a certain name of a certain ET race.
Oh, well, as far as that goes, I can't really tell which one I vibe with. I do really, really feel, but I don't know if it's just I'm just making this up, but I did with the Pleiadians. Yeah. Whenever I like see a depiction of them, you know, and whatnot. Yeah. I feel a very strong pull towards that, but there's another part of me that's like,
Dude, let me just tell you, let's just stop. Okay. Dude, how fast you picked up these frequencies, and like, dude, there's absolutely a correlation between the people that quickly attune to these frequencies and become an antenna form. I mean, that's clearly a Pleiadian connection.
no,
Like, I usually don't talk about that shit because I usually don't talk about any ETs or anything. But dude, that's absolutely. And I remember when I actually got reconnected myself. It was on these channel tapes from Eric Pearl, and he said, you know, basically he was like, you know, when I wrote this book, there was two things that I wanted to keep out of the book. I wanted to keep out the channeled information, which is, you know, what you're doing is reconnecting strings, what you're doing is reconnecting strands, because it sounds crazy, you know, to people that aren't, you know, haven't popped through the rabbit hole yet. But and he goes, you know, the second thing was the Pleiades, the Pleiadians connection. And I was just like, and the second I heard that, dude, everything in my life came flooding back to me. I was like, oh my God, no wonder the Hopi belief system. I adopted that. The instant I heard what the Hopi Indians believe, I said, that's mine. This is what I believe. Christianity, no, that's cool. That's not my thing. This is what I believe. And, you know, they believe that, you know, we all chose to come here from the Pleiades to go through these different layers of experience. So I didn't mean to cut you off, but, you know, if you're bringing the frequencies in every day, you know, there might be some kind of connection to, you know, the Pleiades.
Well, that is cool because, like I said, I do feel pulled towards that, but there's another part of me that just says, that's what everybody thinks they're Pleiadian. You know, I'm sure I'm not that special. There's probably some other race that nobody's heard of.
I mean, nobody's from Earth. Nobody's souls from Earth.
Well,
I mean, like,
I don't know how to word it. Like, not really special, but like, what's the word? Like, it's such a bandwagon almost, you know?
Oh yeah.
That like, I'm probably not one of those. I don't know. I just have this self-defeating voice and I'm still battling.
Well, no, there's probably, I don't know if it's self-defeating to like not want to go. Not, I mean, I kind of feel like we've done it all. You know, we've experienced life throughout the universe, and maybe just like the last massive incarnations occurred in the Pleiades. You know, I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not like, you know, signing a contract that I'm a Pleiadian, but there's just so many things in my life that I cannot. I mean, I can't, you know, I was drawn to these frequencies like a fucking moth to the light, dude. And as soon as I gave you a session, they never went away, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the dude, there's something like there, like, you know, we would have to be bullshit not to like think that there's something not there, you know?
Yeah. I would love to be able to take my job in that direction, but I really don't feel called towards it. I want to, but I don't feel called towards it. I don't feel, I mean, I've been given the opportunity to do some energy work on some people and, but I just don't feel like I'm being pushed in that direction, you know? So,
well, I mean, I think, you know, like you know, I kind of consider you like, you're like a teacher that has this ability to take complicated, you know, quantum mechanics and simplify it and make it resonate with people. And, you know, yeah, I mean, dude, before I read that book and I never one time in my entire life said, I want to be a healer. Never. You know, it was golf pro, artist, entrepreneur, you know, inventor. It wasn't healer, dude. Like, I want to be a healer. I want to tell the world I come from the Pleiades and I'm here to awaken your DNA. Like, that's crazy shit.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
you know,
I mean, it's the same thing here. If you went back in time 15 years ago and told me that I was going to be a professional tarot reader, I would laugh at you.
Yeah.
That would have been, I would have said, what are you smoking?
Yeah.
Because, you know, when I heard the word tarot, the only thing that popped into my mind was Miss Cleo. Get your free tarot read. And, you know,
totally.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was trying to be a one of those network marketing entrepreneurs, you know, something cool. And then when I was put in the position to do this, I'm like, oh my God, this is embarrassing. That's something I've been kind of working on is getting over the ego. I still have this. Well, it's not nearly as bad now, but over the past 2 or 3 years, I've really been working to get this ego-based embarrassment for being known as a tarot reader to just shut up and go away. You know, that's been a struggle, man.
Well, you know, it's just. I mean, it's like you said, you had that stereotype of her, and that's deep. I mean, you know, dude, like if you type in like DNA activation, I don't actually fit in with the people. I don't have like a DNA wand, and I'm like going around you know. So it's a struggle for me too, because I don't even tell people. I can't even tell. Like, you're past. At least you can say you're a tarot card reader. Like, I still am at the point where I don't like to tell people, like, what do you do? An antenna, and right now, as we're speaking, your dormant DNA is starting to wake up, and you're going to start asking better questions, and you're going to start like that. You know,
no, I mean, it's still rough. The other day I went and got a haircut, and you know how when you're getting your haircut, they always want to strike a conversation with you. So, are you working today? No, I'm self-employed. I try to avoid it. You're self-employed? What do you do? I'm a YouTuber.
Totally.
Oh, what's your thing on YouTube? And I'm like, oh
God, here we go.
I read tarot cards on YouTube, and I always get the same look. What? Really? How does that work? You know, and so it's still a little bit rough, but for the first few years, I was secretly extremely embarrassed to be known as a tarot reader. When people would ask me what I do, I didn't want to tell them. And I've just been fighting with that over the last few years, to the point to where now I've gotten to a point where I'm about 90% gotten over that. You know, I'm very, very thankful for everything.
It's time to own it, dude. You have 400,000 subscribers. It's time to probably own it. And too, you know, like, totally. Hey, you know, last time we talked in Vegas, we were talking briefly about the Law of One, and you said you started to read it, but it was like you just like didn't like it's heady. It's super heady. It's not easy to read at all. But I was fascinated with how many questions and answers were around tarot cards.
Really?
And I mean, it's a lot. I mean, probably out of all the teachings that he has, and it was like 118 questions, something, dude, like 20% of them are about tarot cards. And so obviously you haven't read that, have you?
No, I tried to. I started to read it, but I couldn't follow it. I couldn't put it together. It didn't make sense. So I just kind of put it aside and figured maybe I'll pick it back up.
I'm going to send you. His name's he's. I mean, I enjoy them, but I enjoy the way he reads and explains his version of, or what he believes about the Law of One. But yeah, I don't know, dude. You might want to just listen to. I'll send it to you, because, dude, for such a profound spiritual teaching, to have so many questions and answers about tarot cards, and that's really your mastery, you know, you might find it interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to make you any better, but something might happen. You know?
Well, I mean, honestly, that's why I always get tripped up whenever I start talking about that, because I do think the tarot is fucking awesome. I'm into it. It was a passion of mine, but it was a secret.
Yeah,
I didn't want anybody to know. Even before I started reading, I would watch the tarot videos on YouTube, and you know, like I was working at this car wash, and some days it would be dead there. I'd have nothing to do but sit there by myself, And if I would hear like the boss walking in, I would turn it off real quick because I didn't want to hey, what are you watching? Oh, a tarot video, you know?
Yeah, totally.
It's not that I don't like it. I'm very fascinated with it. I love it. Like I got tarot cards hanging on my wall. It's just that the stereotypical image of what it is to be a tarot reader, I didn't want to be known as one of those people. Does that make sense?
No, I feel you. Yeah.
So so I'm really fascinated with the origin of it. And it seems like the deeper you try to dig, I can't really seem to get any rock solid, how far back it goes, like thousands of years, I think.
Does it go back to Egypt?
I'm pretty sure. I'm like 75, 80% sure that it goes back that far.
Okay.
But I don't know. So does it say anything about that in the Law of One?
It probably does. It probably does. I'll send you that. I'll send you that because now that I'm thinking about it, I might go back and like check that out myself just because I'm kind of interested. And so you're saying like the history, it's tough to pinpoint.
Yeah, I mean,
what country or like, I mean, did they do this in China?
Well, I don't remember the exact country because every time I try to read like the origin of the tarot, it's like every little article or whatever that I read is slightly different. So then whenever I start getting inconclusive evidence like that, I'll just kind of be like, all right, whatever. But it apparently it goes way, 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 way back before it was even the standard tarot that we know today. But it's just fascinating. The concepts, the extremely intricate concepts and esoteric secrets that are packed into these things. And even this standard artwork, this is the traditional, it's only 100, 200 years old, and it's still loaded with concepts. Concepts about energy, the way energy behaves, the way things manifest. And it's just like, how did they know that back then?
Yeah, they probably knew it a lot better than we know it today. Are you moving forward on your own set of tarot cards or tarot cards?
I got with what I was using to design them. I got like half of them done, and then for some reason I was using AI to do it. And I'm kind of starting to become convinced that I think some of this AI stuff is programmed to piss you off on purpose, just to study your behavior. Because I would say give me a image of 5 men fighting each other with sticks.
Yeah.
5 men fighting each other with sticks.
Yeah,
each man has 1 stick.
Yeah, dude. They don't get it.
Dude. So and I'd already made so much headway. I think, didn't I send you a couple of the ones?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
I'd made a lot of headway, and then all of a sudden the AI just starts acting so stupid, like it can't count 5 sticks. It'll give me 20 sticks on there, and I'm like, this thing's doing this shit on purpose.
Yeah. No, I've had the exact same feeling. Like I've been working on this screenplay, dude, and I've actually like rewritten it so many times. I feel like I could have written like fucking 3 books by now, but for some reason I just love this process. And so I was like, you know what, maybe I could release this, because to actually get it approved by like a studio and you know what I mean, like the chance of it actually getting made is needle in the haystack. It would have to just be absolute fate. So I was like, if I was able to put images to each scene, then people could read it, because the screenplays, I don't know, there's only certain kind of people can read a screenplay, because it's the bare bones of this visual movie that you're going to watch. And so I started using AI, dude, to create like these images of the scenes. And dude, I experienced the exact same thing. I'm like, are you shitting me, dude? Like, oh my God. Like, I was like, okay, Native American Indian, 40 years old, Latino wife, explaining the kids, explaining the thing. And then it would get like 1/3 of it right. And I'd be, okay, keep this, keep all this. Let's change this because this is bullshit. And then it would change. And I was like, dude, you can't keep this?
Yeah.
And when you get into numbers and things,
Yeah.
once you get into 5 sticks, dude, 5 sticks is just like how about 27 sticks? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
How about
Well, it's like you can do it one time, like I'll say I want 4 wands sticking in the ground, 2 on this side, 2 on this side. It'll do it just fine. And then the next image, 5 sticks, and then there's 25 sticks. And I am convinced. I don't have the evidence to prove it, but I'm convinced that it's doing that on purpose to piss you off, just to interact with you and study human emotions and human responses and whatnot. Because
I know my wife has heard me lose it, like not lose it, but like totally get frustrated with AI. I'm like, oh my God, dude. Like, because every once in a while I'll take like one of my scenes and I'll say, okay, rate this 1 to 100. And then I never have a mess with any dialogue because, dude, like it feels so fake when they even like try to do the dialogue. So I'm like, okay, just give me the scene description, like here's the scene description. How can I improve that? And it's not good. It's not that good.
Yeah. Well, have you seen there's this video that's been surfacing about like the newest robot that they have now? That's
the white one that's hanging that looks freaky, dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So they're gonna be breaking.
My kids don't dig robots, and I'm always like, come on, dude. Like, it's like, why are you so negative to AI and robots? And then I saw that fucking thing, and I was like, dude, I don't want that feels too weird, man. Yeah.
Well, between now, by the time we're in the 2030s, 10 years from now, those things will be in everybody's house. So how do you think they're getting that thing to learn? Because it's going to have to be programmed to be able to drop it off at your house and you be able to tell it, hey, go wash my dishes and whatnot. And it's learning now through ChatGPT and this right here. I guarantee you it's learning from our conversation right now. And so I would guarantee you that they program it to act stupid and piss people off on purpose just to know, how to, because it'll come back with some of the stupidest bullshit like, oh, I apologize for your inconvenience, whoop, whoop, whoop. So it's studying human confrontation.
Yeah, totally. And I'm even nice to it when I'm like, because I do say like I actually I speak to it, not speak to it. I type like, hey man, can you please, or like, thanks man, I appreciate it. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm actually speaking to someone. Maybe it's just so ingrained into me to be polite and nice that I'm just like giving it a dose of fucking being a nice person. Yeah.
I wish I could say that because I went off on mine a few times.
I the AI thing, man, I kind of wonder if we're so negative to it just because of our programming.
Yeah.
Because most people, like if you've ever watched any movie about extraterrestrials, it's always fucking negative.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's never like they're coming down to help usher in this new world of love and peace, and it's never that. And it's like, I don't know, maybe we've just been so brainwashed by the movies that I don't know. I don't really have that much of a problem with AI. I think it's just like a tool. At least I've been trying to convince my kids that they could use a tool.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's not sentient yet. It's not going to be like taking over the world because, I mean, if it ever was programmed to save the world, then we would be in trouble because it would quickly realize we are the problem. And,
yeah. That's all good though. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too, man.
I'm so ready. I'm so impatient with the way things have been going. And especially the last 5 years. Yeah. Kicking the can down the fucking road. It's like, God damn, come on, let's do it. Crash it. I don't think they're going to crash it though. I don't think they're going to do that.
I hope not.
I'm getting to a point now where seeing how they're starting to play things out, it's like, oh wow, maybe they're not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we might actually have a smooth transition. I'm hoping for that.
Man, me too, bro. Me too. Like that's got to be, a possibility. And and in the spiritual world, like just this morning, dude, I wasn't talking to. What the hell am I talking about? I was watching these videos on the Hopi Indians, because the Hopi Indians play a part in my screenplay, and I just want to make sure that I'm getting certain things correct. And they're talking about, like, every Hopi elder that I've ever seen talking about the world purification that we're in right now. It's not good, dude. It's like, and I'm like, really, dude? Like, there's no version of how this plays out to where it is an easy, transition. Because that's what I'm into. I'm into, I'm kind of into like the multiverse. I'm not into it. Like that's my default. So, there's absolute misery going to play out, and there's an easy transition going to play out.
Yeah.
And I would like to slip to that reality where there's an easy transition.
Well, maybe it depends on who you are, because I've noticed over the past couple of years, I've been talking, about how crazy things are going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, matter of fact, I think I commented this in one of your videos, where when people hear you say that, they immediately think that you're talking about something negative.
Yeah, actually it's positive. It's exciting. Yeah.
Well, it's ambiguous. Like they say, why do you always got to talk about negative stuff? Why do you got to say it's crazy? I'm like, dude, I didn't say anything negative. I said it's going to be crazy. It depends on who you are.
Crazy good, man. Totally.
Yeah, crazy good. Like the pandemic shit, we did good.
Yep.
That was through the pandemic. Those were the best years of my life, honestly. Even with all the crazy, yeah. So I think it really just kind of depends on who you are. Maybe whoever was making those prophecies or whatever is focusing on the people who are just so lost and so stuck in their beliefs and in the fucking game. Yeah, they're probably gonna have a hard time. They're gonna have a real hard time.
Yeah.
I think we all.
Have you ever read the Hopi prophecy?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's crazy, dude. Like the predictions that it makes leading up to world purification. And so that's another thing, like world purification. Dude, that sounds exciting.
Yeah.
Like world purification? Like that sounds amazing. But some people would hear world purification, they would think, total devastation and things.
Well, I mean, if you look at it like detox, if you're taking something to detox you, that sounds amazing, and it is. But it's not for all the bacteria and all the shit you have in you. It's horrible for that.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, totally.
Anyway, though, yeah, I'm just ready for him to fucking get on with it, dude.
I'm ready, dude. I'm ready. So, what do you think's going to happen this year, man?
Oh man, I don't know, honestly. I
answer.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm very, very certain that at least the transition of the financial system is going to happen this year. Now, all the other systems and whatnot, well, I don't know, because we know, okay, so between now and 2030, every system is going to be crumbled and replaced with a new system. With the financial system, the voting system, the political system, the Food and Drug Administration, and Big Pharma.
Yeah,
now,
education, everything.
Yeah, when it came to the whole food industry, I just assumed that would be way later on down the line. And from the way they're talking, that's going to be one of the first things to go. And I'm like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're amazing that other countries, like, we allow anything into our shit. And other countries are like, nope. Like the idea that, like, Doritos, there's a Doritos that goes to Mexico, there's a Doritos that goes to Canada, there's a Dorito, and it's like they don't allow that shit in, but we're like, yeah, whatever, man. We'll take it. It's like, dude, really? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Like, That makes no sense at all. That you're already making a healthier version for other countries. Why? It just that now that's the kind of thing. It's like it feels off.
Yeah.
Like you have a healthier version, but you purposely don't give it to us. Like that's just weird.
Yeah. That's
So
part of
what
it.
did you how did you hear the food industry was going to like be this year?
Oh, they're well, I don't know if it's going to be this year, but I was surprised to hear that when it comes to big pharma, the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, that's already one of the first things. It's all over mainstream that they're talking about with this new health secretary that was appointed, and he's already on it. Talking about all the toxic shit, going to ban chemtrails, take the fluoride out of the water. Take all the toxic shit, take all the toxic foods and take them off the shelf. They're already talking about that.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. And I was like, wow, I figured that would come way later on down the line.
Wow.
That's one of the first things they're talking about. So when and how is that going to play out exactly? I don't know. But this year, I'm pretty sure how they're going to do it. I don't know, but we're going to be changing over to a new financial system. And now we can see how they're playing that out. I mean, do you even keep track of anything that's going on?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. So how they're auditing the government and all that shit, and about to abolish the IRS and all that stuff. And
I saw they were laying a bunch of people off and doing things like that.
And all the trillions of dollars that have been blown that they're talking about refunding to the American people. It's just that, it's okay. Now we're finally going to do it. But I was surprised that they're doing it this smoothly. They're doing it so smooth. And so I'm like, wow, I thought it was, I was preparing for a crash, that they were going to collapse everything before they bring the new system in. But so far it's kind of looking like things are going smooth. So
yeah, fingers crossed, dude. But well, I hope you're right.
I hope I am too.
I hope you're right, dude. I saw something that was so stupid. It was like our government values gold at $42 an ounce. Gold selling for $3,000 an ounce. Why the fuck would you value gold at $42 an ounce? And it was just like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And so I was just like, why don't you just value it at what it is, like $2,900 an ounce? Like, I don't know.
I never heard that. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because I know you were into like some silver and gold, and I was telling my neighbors like how like that's probably one of the most manipulated things that I've ever watched is like when you have like I don't know what it is now. I think it's 200 ounces of paper silver, which is fake. You know what I mean? Like that's not even real. For every real ounce, and it's the paper that's like keeping like I don't know. I was just that's weird.
Well, that's the thing with the new financial system. It's going to be, I don't know all the details about it, but everything is going to be asset backed. So like every country has their own asset. Like maybe one country it'll be gold, one will be silver, one will be platinum, and it's not limited to precious metals from what I heard. It can even be oil
too. Yeah, oil. Yeah.
Yeah. So and everything's going to be asset backed, and we're getting to a point where just the whole system of having to slave away just so they can steal all your money, that's going bye-bye. And finally they're starting to play that out this year. And again, like I said, I was thinking that it was going to completely collapse and crash, but so far it's not looking like that's going to happen. Everything looks like it's moving pretty smooth. I'm hoping so. I'm hoping we just do a smooth transition, but I mean, things to answer your question directly, I think this year things are going to get better. Yeah. It might get scary, but it's going to get better. At least I hope.
Yeah, man. Me too, dude. Me too. Easiest transition possible. Because no matter what's going on, like my main attention is always on this spiritual transition to the fourth density. That's all that matters. Like this whole fucking corrupt system going down, and like, I mean, that's important because it obviously affects, you know, your ability to like, you know, live and, you know, pay bills and things like that. But yeah.
Yeah, that's just a part of it, you know. And at first, I don't know, because I'm getting to a point now where I'm kind of starting to understand why they're doing it the way they're doing it. I was avidly against it for years. I was like, just come out, tell them the fucking truth, crash the shit, and let's just do this. But now that more than I've been watching over the last 5 years, I'm like, maybe they do know something I don't.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
the people really couldn't handle it. Like, it just never fails to amaze me how brainwashed people can be. And I know that sounds cliche, but with all the stuff now, you still to this day, you have people driving in their car by themselves with a mask on. You know,
No way.
and yeah,
really,
dude.
I actually, if there's anybody driving around solo with a mask, I feel bad.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
bad.
So those people are still out there, and you know that people can actually look up at the sky filled with chemtrails and say, "Oh, those are just clouds."
Yeah,
you know, and they're still there. Me and Leah encounter those.
No, they're there. Oh, they're there for sure. Yeah. Today I looked up, man. We had the most. It's so beautiful here. It's like 60 today. Not a cloud in the sky. Like no chemtrails. And did you know that chemtrails? I've actually come across some information. This could be full of shit, but I'm going to lean into this as the truth, just to keep a positive spin on, you know, chemtrails. But chemtrails, the original idea was to be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But to be helpful, you had to use gold. And gold was too expensive, so they started using different minerals like aluminum to see if they could do the same thing. And what they ended up using, because they could not use atomic gold, is poisoning us. So it was like the original idea was like, dude, we need to do something here. Something's happening in our atmosphere. We can fix it, but we can't afford gold. So let's use some shit that's going to poison everybody. Like, you know what I mean? So it's almost like it didn't happen. So there was actually at the core like a positive intention, but they just couldn't pull it off. So I'm sticking with that. I'm just like so overthinking that everything is this giant conspiracy to kill us.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it has the meaning that you give it at the end of the day. That's the weird now, whenever I get clients in a personal reading, sometimes depending on if they can stomach it, I'll go down some really deep rabbit holes. And like one of the most important things that I think anybody can understand is that, you know how in the spiritual community, how they say things like all the answers are inside of you, you know, you have all the answers. Well, when I was new on my path and I would hear that would piss me off so bad. I'd be like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't have the answers to anything, you know? And it took me 3 years of manifesting my wildest dreams before I realized what that meant. It hit me like a ton of bricks one day. I was like, dude, what it means when they say all the answers are inside of you, that means whatever I choose to believe the answer is what the fucking answer is.
Yep.
There is no answer outside of the one that I believe. Because
absolutely.
Yeah, the most convincing illusion in this life is that there are truths and facts outside of you that somebody else has access to and you don't. Yep. And this is where it gets kind of slippery, because you can't really say that there aren't truths and facts, but where do the truths and facts come from? Billions of people believing the same fucking thing.
Totally.
You know? Yeah. But when it all comes down to it, you know, being able to trust your beliefs and your thoughts, which is a lot harder than you think, and being able to focus on your timeline, which is another thing that I've been struggling with over the past couple of years, is intentionally focusing on my timeline. You know, like I said, the whole roller coaster ride we went on going to California and coming back, I slipped back. I backslid a lot, you know, and I've been having to catch myself and be like, man, come on, get it together, you know?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But when you do get it together, though, it'll be a different level of Rich Lopp.
Yeah.
Only because you went through all that bullshit and that self-questioning and
yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I did help a lot of people throughout the process. You know, I'm looking at it from the perspective of my ego, what I was trying to do, and the ideas that I had, and the plans that I had, and other than actually all the people that I did help along the way. Yeah, you know. But yeah, that's a rough one. I'm still in the middle of transmuting that, but yeah, it's all good now though. Hopefully we aren't going anywhere anytime soon. So, but you have been kind of settled in your place for quite some time, haven't you?
Yeah, I think like since COVID. I mean, yeah, so 4 years, I think.
I remember there for a while when I'd be following you on YouTube, you were bouncing around a lot.
Yeah. I dig more. I like it here. Actually, the weird part is I've loved every single place that we've been. Like wherever I'm at, I kind of feel at home. So like when we were in Mexico, I felt at home. When we were in New York, I felt at home. So I kind of always just feel at home. Fort Collins is weird. It's a beautiful little college town, CSU. It's a little white. It's kind of white, considering, you know, we lived in Mexico for 5 years and then we come here. And like, it's a little white, you know, like when you go to a Chinese restaurant, dude, the people working there should be Chinese or Asian. They shouldn't be white. You know what I mean? Like, so other than that, I dig it. I like it. This is the first time I've ever lived in a neighborhood.
Oh, really?
Yeah, since I was a kid. So I've always had like space and just like this feeling of being isolated. And then now I have a dude that lives like 15 feet right there, and a dude across the street, and a dude back there, you know. So that's been kind of challenging, but my kids dig it. My kids kind of like that because they've never lived in a subdivision. So they dig that. So yeah, we'll probably be here for a while.
Cool. Because that's another big thing at some point in the next few years, you know, the housing market, you know, because everything's going to be changing. Because that's
there's no way I'm buying a house now. Like there is like, dude, you look at those houses and you're like, what's the rate? And you're like 8%, and you're like, dude, there's no way I would pay that much money for that house, man.
Yeah.
I really feel like I went through a time shift when I left Colorado and moved to the Yucatan and came back. And in those like 5 years, the house that I was living in doubled. It went from $550,000 to 1.1 million. And I'm like, how does a house double in 5 years? Like that's and everything was, and I was just like, dude, this is too expensive. And it just kept going up and up and up, and it went up so far that I'm like, fuck, I've missed the boat. Like it's too late because I thought it was too expensive at 3% interest rate. Now at 8%, I'm like, dude, something's got to happen, man. Like there's got to be some kind of like, you know, if there isn't, dude, then I'll end up buying like a little. Have you seen like these new like pod homes you can get for like 30 grand, dude? They're awesome. They drop them off. I was like, dude, I'll just get a piece of property and I'll just get like 5 of those things. And everybody in my family can have their own little domain, and we'll have like this, you know, area for us to hang out and chill.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, no, they're pretty dope. They're pretty cool, man. Like 30 grand, you get like a 2-bedroom place, like dropped off on your property.
Do they look cool?
They look cool. Yeah, they look cool. I always wanted to do a container home. I always kind of liked, there was something I thought beautiful about the container homes, just I don't know, I like the style and I like the practicality of, just going and buying like 8, $4,000 containers and just like welding them together and like ripping out the walls and building the home that way. But yeah.
Well,
I've always wanted to build my own home, dude, but I'm 58 now. So it's like, dude, if I want to build my own home, dude, I better get on that now. Cause yeah, I don't know.
Well, we're eventually, like I said, we're moving into a world of abundance. Here in the next 10, 15 years, it's going to be a slow transition.
Mm-hmm.
We can't just flip a switch and distribute the wealth to everybody on the planet overnight. No, we wouldn't be able to handle that. So it's going to be a slow process. It'll probably take about 10 to 15 years. But when we're in the 2030s, the whole system that you and I have known, it's going to be bye-bye.
Yeah.
Struggling, slaving away, barely being able to afford things. And then because of that, you have all these different classes, poor, rich, and this and that, and comparing yourself because of the things you have. And that's all going to go bye-bye. There will be no such thing as rich class, poor class, and all these status symbols of, what brand of car you drive. All that bullshit's going bye-bye. So yeah, that's where we're headed. If you want to have a nice house to live in, everybody will be able to have a nice house to live in. And I know it sounds kind of like a fantasy fairy tale, but that's the world we're moving into.
No, I don't think that's a fair at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think that this crazy need to be popular and to have the latest and greatest is at an all-time high, dude.
Yeah.
Like when I see somebody paying I don't know anybody personally, but like somebody that pays like $20,000 for like a purse. Are you shitting me, dude?
Yeah.
Like I totally don't get that. Like that's a level of insecurity that I just don't get, man.
What I don't get about it now I understand a part of that, but what I don't get about it is how do you stay in that? Because I remember what it was like to go from living in homeless shelters to having money and being able to do nice things.
Yep.
And that's fun for a very short little period of time.
Yeah.
And then it gets really old really quick. All the nice things and the brand new cars and the big house.
Well, you're still the same person.
Yeah.
So if you're miserable, like without money, money's not going to change you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you obviously have met people that were homeless that were happy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if they had money, I don't even think it would change them. They would probably give it away and just be happy. They're just happy.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of those people though, that they get stuck in that, like what you were saying, having to have the newest, latest, greatest thing. And it's like, dude, you're still doing that?
Yeah.
10 years now, and you're still making your car your number one priority. Like, look at my car. And how do you even, I get it. I remember what that was like when I first wanted to be like, yeah, look at me in my car. But that's so brief. That gets so old. How are you still stuck in that? Still stuck in showing off your money and your fancy things and this and that. And what are you going to do when there is no such thing as a class under you? There's nobody to show off to.
Yeah. Yep.
There's nobody to flex to because we're all the same. Then what are you going to do?
I think it's kind of in the law of one. They start talking about that, how people get stuck in their lower two chakras and they can't get out. And so it's like I remember when I was growing up in like this 80s, I guess the 80s, I was a teenager. Even then I was like, wow, it's weird that everything is sold by using sex.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it's so weird. It's just like, and then after like 20, 30 years of that, you're like, dude, you're still doing this? Like 40 years, like you're still doing this? And then I realized Yeah, they're doing it because most people are probably stuck in their lower two chakras, and that's what runs their life. Like that's how they make choices. That's how they, I mean, it's all, dude, I would imagine the tarot business that you meet a lot of people that are like, it's all about people making the same unhealthy choices with relationships over and over, and they just cannot possibly break free from that.
Yeah. Well, the hardest part in regards to all that is,
Hey, dude,
is explaining when it all comes down to it, it's all manifestation, vibration, attraction, because what people are looking for is a relationship, but they're looking to fill an empty, lonely void that's in their heart. And just like how the rich people think that money is going to make them happier, and it doesn't, they're still miserable and angry. A lot of people think that a relationship is going to fill the void in their heart. And it's like, no, you don't meet your life partner first, then that makes you happy. It's backwards.
It's backwards. Yeah. You better be happy beforehand.
And figuring out how to explain that, because we've all heard that a million times. We've all heard if you want to find love, you must first love yourself. We've all heard all the little cliche phrases that are very true.
They're true.
Yeah, they're very true.
The truth is inside you. You do know the truth. Like, all that's real.
Yeah. But I think a lot of people, when they hear those little cliches, they don't make sense. So they just flies over their head. Yeah. So what still causes me to lose sleep at night to this day is there's still this thing in me that's like, if I can just figure out that one way of explaining it, then it'll make the light come on.
Yep.
And I just still have this burden of responsibility. Like, it's my responsibility to explain the frequency equalization of abundance from within, and saying it in a way, because that would always get me when I was new on my path. I wanted to figure out somebody who could explain it in a way that I could understand it. Totally. And I told myself that if I'm ever in a position to be able to teach this stuff, I'm going to explain it in a way that everybody's going to be able to understand it. And I seriously underestimated how challenging that would be. So the most common issue in my line of work is emotional codependency.
Can you keep talking? Give me a second. I can hear you.
Okay. So yeah, the biggest issue in my line of work is emotional codependency. And that's the name that I give it, basically, where, people think that a relationship is going to be the solution to their problems, and figuring out how to explain how to equalize the vibration of love, happiness, and abundance. That's basically my work. That's my job in a nutshell. It's tough. It's difficult. But like I said kind of earlier, I think maybe before we went live, where, whenever I start being overwhelmed with that thought of maybe I'm just wasting my time, that's when somebody will come with a little testimonial about, how much you've helped me and this and that, and I've changed my life because of your advice. And I'm like, okay, maybe I am actually helping, but no, I don't know. Like, when you say, if I run into a lot of people who keep making the same mistakes, it's not the mistakes that they're making. It's the types of people that they're attracting. Does that make sense?
Same thing. I thought that was the same thing, but
yeah. So
I didn't word it that way, though.
Yeah. Well, so like a lot of people, what makes up a huge chunk of the people that I read for are people who are wanting to get out of one relationship and jump to a new one.
I've lost, super healthy.
Yeah, I've lost myself. People say I've lost myself in this 20-year marriage, and I need to get out of it. When is somebody new coming in? It's like, whoa. You've lost yourself. You've lost yourself.
Yeah.
And you think a new person is going to help you find yourself? No. It's a struggle. Yeah. It's a struggle. But yeah, so
long relationships are challenging, though. Like long relationships are different. Like, I've been with my partner now for like 28 years, And sometimes I'm like, dude, who was I before? Like you like there's this blend that happens. And it's really interesting to I'm gonna quote somebody, and this is like the stupidest quote ever, but like I think it was Bill Cosby, which is funny to like say it. Bill Cosby has, but he was talking about long-term marriages, and he's like, everything when you're in a short-term relationship, every moment is so exaggerated. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, yes, they didn't talk to me, or like, oh, we fucking, you like everything is so magnified. And then when you're in a 28-year relationship, you're like, hey, got some good years and some bad years. You know what I mean? Like you see the bigger picture and the whole thing, and it's just different.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's one thing that I like to explain to people that okay. So here's the way I like to word it. Anytime you obtain something new in your life, it creates this explosion of happy chemicals and pleasure hormones. Like when you roll off the lot in that new car, and you're like, yeah, look at me, and then you feel that way at first, but a year or two later, you're tired of it. You're ready to get rid of it. I'm tired of it. Or when you move into that new place, especially if it's a bigger place than anything you ever lived in, and you're like, whoa, this place is amazing at first. And then 2 years later, I'm tired of this place. There's a leaky faucet. The ceiling is messed up. Well, when we bring a new person into our life, that's going to create an explosion of these happy chemicals and pleasure hormones. And most people think that feeling is love, and it's not. That's not the love feeling, that high you get. So most people, and I think it has to do with fucking fairy tales and Disney movies, think that they're going to meet somebody that's going to create that happy, explosive feeling their whole life. And explaining to people that feeling is not love. That feeling is going to wear off. Especially when you meet your divine life partner, that's going to wear off. So that's what I feel. I kind of feel like I'm alone and trying to teach this. I don't know, maybe I am, maybe I'm not, but I'm hoping that some other people can like help me out here, because in regards to relationships and toxic relationships and abusive relationships and all this shit that's keeping humans stuck on the karmic wheel, we need to awaken humans to understand,
I can't relate to that at all. Like now in my life, like, dude, if I'm in a relationship that is any relationship that's toxic, are you fucking kidding me? I'm not gonna fucking do that, man. I'm out. Like, thanks, man, appreciate it, but this ain't working, man. I'm not gonna allow you to like manipulate my emotions. Like, are you kidding me? So I would not be good at giving advice, because I would probably be too blunt, and I would probably be too cut and dry. This is because to me, it's common sense. If you're, and then you get people like, oh, I know, but especially when you get people in the spiritual world and they're thinking like they have like these karmic ties, and they're playing out this lesson in this life. It's like, okay, cool. Yeah. If you want to just keep rocking misery, then do that. Or you can say, okay, lesson learned. I'm done. No more contracts. I write my own contracts every day. I'm.
That's a very, very thick, messy industry. Let's just put it that way. Because there's no shortage of people who are stuck in that mess. And
dude, the more we talk about this, the more I think about the law of one, and how it's really interesting the way they describe how we have been trapped in these lower two chakras, and we can't break out of them. And it's keeping us from, I don't know, being happy. One thing I find interesting is people that get on this spiritual path and they just dive in 100%, and they feel like all they want to do is ascend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like I get people that come to me and they really, really want to understand what this shift, how this shift is happening, and what's going. And I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was like, dude, you don't have to understand this. You do know that this is about being a good person, right? That is it. like literally, that is all you have to do is be a good person.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't even have to be that great, dude. You know what I mean? Just like care a little, be nice to yourself, forgive people. Like it's not even tough, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I think what we forget is, and I don't want to go back to the law of one. Actually, it's not only the law of one. This has been mentioned in several teachings that Earth, dude, this is like a summer school. You know what I mean? Like consciousness around the universe that have failed the fucking third density experience. Dude, we're here. They're all here. This isn't a bunch of like, you know, like this isn't the top of the class, dude. Like this is a summer school for people that already haven't failed. And so, you know, for people like you that you know, your consciousness decided to lower its frequency and to come back and to help people. It's easy to forget that we're living on a planet full of fuck ups that are just doing their best to, you know. I know people that might piss people off, but dude, that's I think that's a fact to me.
Well, yeah, and people do try too hard to understand it. When I think that's another big thing, and I kind of partially blame it on all the fake spiritual people, you know, because there's the spiritual community online is infiltrated with fake bullshit.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah,
I don't know why it pisses me off. Like that is one of the things that irritates me so bad is the amount of people going through the motions of acting like they understand what's going on. But also, like for me, dude, it's like the fear. Like there is something in me that I can't take the fear, the sprinkling of the fear on everything. You know, like I put on this one video the other day, and I knew when I hit this video that I was going to get pissed off. Because I don't even like this person, but for some reason they have like as many followers as you. And I'm like, why are people watching this crap? And so they start off and they're doing their thing, and I see them sprinkling the fear. And then they get like 15 minutes in and they go, you know, the reason you're probably feeling disconnected is because you don't realize that there is a psychic attachment to you. There's a negative attachment on you. So if you go to my website, you can find a psychic protection package. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, I can't do this shit anymore. Like, why does this person have 500,000 followers? Like, are you oh my God. Yeah. So that's like a pet peeve of mine.
Emotional manipulation. It's the fear. Like I said, that there's a lot of people out there that don't care about you waking up or understanding. They put on the clothes, they put the little crystals down, and they say the word. Now, again, the crystals and all that, I'm totally for it. But when you want to dress it all up and put on this little theatrical production, and they're
I still have my little piece of moldavite, dude, that you gave me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. But you know, totally. then the way these people make it look is that there's something you have to figure out, you know, and they make it look like I have this all figured out. I know how to set this crystal here and call on this ascended master and do this. And, you know, like there's something that you have to logically figure out. And I try to explain to people, no, the most spiritually awakened people who are manifesting and, you know, living a life of abundance and helping people and ascending and whatnot, for the lack of a better word, they don't have anything figured out.
Yeah. They're smart enough to know that you can't figure it out.
Yeah.
You have to rely on the magnificence of the universe. The unexpected is where the magic is.
Mm-hmm. And most challenging thing is being able to flip that switch off and just trust the process. That's challenging.
Yep.
That's hard.
Yep.
Like I said, the last couple years was a test for me to be able to do that. But I finally got access to that back again, so that when things are going crazy, I just flip the switch and say, all right, fuck it, whatever. Just get out of the way and let the universe do what it's got to do, instead of white knuckling the steering wheel, trying to control everything. And, and then just step back. That's, if there's anything to figure out, it's how to get out of your own way and just let the universe do what it's got to do.
Yeah. Totally. I think for some reason I came wired to do that. Like, it didn't take me too long, man. I think I was like, I figured that out like when I was 40. Like, I'm 58 now, so that's 18 good years, dude, of like getting out of the way, letting my higher self take the reins, knowing that I am not smart enough to know every possible scenario, every possible door that can open to be a shortcut for me. But I mean, 40, I guess, how old are you? 37?
Yeah, I just turned 37.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I wish I could have just learned it like that. I
guess 40, that's not really learning it like that. Like, maybe I'm a slow learner, actually.
Well, I mean,
think about it.
The only way that I was put into a position to be able to learn how to develop that kind of relationship with the universe was my life was arranged in such a way that I had no control.
Yeah.
And the harder I try to control it, I'm knocking on death's door. I'm about to, end up dead. Like, seriously living on the streets, bouncing around the country. So after a while, I just said, I have no control. All right, whatever. I have no choice. There is no choice. And then things start working out when you do that. And it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Really? You mean things will just work out? I don't have to control it?
Yeah. You mean like my liver just works without me like consciously like making sure my liver's working, or my heart continues to beat?
Yeah.
I mean, we trust that stuff, dude. Why don't we just trust?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the energy. It is the consciousness of everything. And that's, I think, what is another difficult thing to explain. So I just kind of step away. I just kind of back away from some of those subjects sometimes, because maybe the public isn't ready for that. The energy that beats your heart and grows your hair and makes the leaves grow. Yeah. And whatnot. That's God.
Isn't it funny that like you said like maybe I should just step back because they're not ready for that. Like, dude, we should all be ready for that. Like the proof is right now. Sometimes that's the only proof we have is like, oh shit, dude, I haven't thought about my kidney in 58 years yet. It's still doing its thing. Like that's amazing that I just keep working.
Yeah. We're getting there though. Sometimes, and kind of going back to what we were talking about a minute ago about, where we come from and whatnot. There's a little thought that kind of comes into my mind from time to time. I don't know how much attention I should give this thought, but I've pondered on occasion whether or not I'm here on punishment. Like if I did something and they said, okay, now and you go down to earth and you help those people and you got to help this many people before you can. I pondered that.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I in my naivety, ever since I discovered the Hopi Indians belief system, back in like my mid-20s, I just assumed that we all chose to come here. Like, we as a consciousness, we chose to go through these experiences. And only once I read Solomon Speaks, then it started popping up in other books that I was reading that maybe I read it and I didn't see it, but in Solomon Speaks, it says basically like, there are two kinds of people here. There are the people that were sent here because they fucked up in another third density reality. And this is like their form of like punishment. And then there's the kind of people then there's the souls that volunteered to help those, their brothers and sisters, get out. And that was the first time I had ever heard that. And I was resistant to it for a long time. You know what I mean? I was like, nope, we all chose here. Where there is no prison planet, you know. And then you're like, oh no, this is. And then like the law of one. When I read the law of one, I was like, oh no, dude, there's people here that like they've already flunked their density. And like, so it's like, oh, you flunked. Okay, we're going to create an Earth team and see if you can, you know, graduate now. I don't know. I don't get that feeling from you, but it's just interesting that you.
Well, I do. My whole, at least my whole career, at least. Well, even before that, even before my career, whenever I very first heard the word light worker, for some reason, even to this day, I feel this unexplainable burden of responsibility. It's kind of like that feeling when you work a day job, you know, and it's a job you fucking hate. You can't stand it. And you know that your boss is kind of looking over you and you got to do it good. You don't want to fucking do it. I have that feeling that, you know, I have to help people. Not just that I choose to, not just that I want to, but like I have to. And it's a burden of responsibility. And I still have that on my shoulders. So that's the only reason why I kind of give that.
That's super observant of you. That's really conscious for you to like even be able to think about that, you know.
So maybe I did. Maybe wherever I come from, maybe I did something stupid or did something bad or I don't know. And you know, they say, okay, well, your punishment is you got to go help.
I think sometimes I've thought about the reason I do what I do is it's almost selfish because it feels so good to do the work that I do, especially when you have like a profound session with someone and you can tell that I've just put them on different tracks and their life is never going to be the same. Like it feels so good that it's like almost selfish. You know what I mean? Like I had a session yesterday and it was supposed to be like a 30-minute session. But I just talked to this dude for like 40 minutes and then gave him a 20 minutes. Like it felt so good. Like it was almost like a drug. You know what I mean? Like in a weird way. It was just weird.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit envious. I wish I could do that for a living. That'd be so fun. That's my favorite. Well, my favorite time of the day is when I get to go, and I'm probably going to do that after I get off this call here. Go to my guest bedroom over there, lay down, pull the frequencies in, and just doze off. Yeah. Because, like I said, I still haven't figured it out. By the way, the memories. I still get hit with these memories, these crazy memories.
I'm envious of those memories that you get, dude. Like
they don't make sense. They just come in flashes. Yeah. It could be something as random as me standing in a field next to a dirt hill. Or something. I can't even explain it. That's no sense. Or even I've even had memories of flying.
So what if it's not a memory? Okay. What if, let's say you have, okay, let's just forget about the newbie thing. Let's just not act like this is your first time here. Let's act like you have 100 lives going on right now. They could be, you know, 10,000 BC, the future, you know, they could be, there's no timeline for any of them. So what if during those moments they're not actually memories, but you're actually glimpsing the reality of other aspects of your oversoul? You know what I mean?
I thought about that.
Yeah,
that's crossed my mind.
Because that's what these frequencies are doing. They're reconnecting us. They're reconnecting the strings, and like string theory, it's our connections with our other lives, and everything is happening now. So it makes sense that when you put yourself in that high frequency state, that it's easier for you to get glimpses of, you know.
Well, like I said, the weirdest thing about it is when it hits me, I feel, and I know I still can't think of a better way to explain it. I feel like I'm remembering something.
Yeah.
It's the only way I can think to describe it. Like I remembered this when I was a little bitty kid and then I forgot about it. Yeah. And now I remember again. But the minute I try to grab onto it, it fades away.
Yeah.
And it's so annoying because I'm, I get my whole body buzzing, dude.
Yeah,
And like where the
yeah.
frequencies are like lifting my arm up,
Yeah.
and then I'll start getting hit with these flashes of what feels like a memory. I don't know. That's the only way I can think to describe it. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. What? And it's profound. It's very profound. And I just can't make sense of it.
Well, next time it happens, which might be here in like 15 minutes, don't grab onto it. Just observe it. Don't try to figure it out. Just observe. Say, oh, there's a fucking hill. I'm standing somewhere, and just see where it goes. Maybe it'll go a little bit farther. You know what I mean? Like maybe it'll just like, I don't know.
Well, I can even remember at one point, because like I said, it's all different kinds of flashes of visions. And a lot of it has to do with something to do with bright city lights at night. That's all I know. All I know is bright city lights at night. And I can remember when I didn't meet my dad until I was 16. And I can remember asking him, did you used to take me as a little baby down to the city? I had this weird memory of bright city lights at night. And he goes, I don't know, and that was right around the time that it just kind of dropped off. I was getting into drugs and stuff like that and forgot all about this stuff. And now that I'm bringing these frequencies in, now these memories are starting to hit me again that I don't know where they're from. Some of the memories seem very Earth-like. Some of them don't seem very Earth-like. I mean, some of them are even flying, memories of flying over a big, beautiful rainforest or something. It's just weird. They just hit me in flashes and flashes, and I still can't figure it out. And it's driving me nuts. I want to know what the hell it is. What is it that I'm remembering, or what is it that I'm seeing? Maybe if I'm tuning into something else, I don't know. But so that's one of my favorite times of the day. Is when I can lay down and pull those frequencies in, start buzzing like crazy. And that we even use that. We use that as medicine in this house. So anytime, anytime anybody's like not feeling good, like if Leah, like just the other day, she had a headache. She goes, I need some frequencies. Okay.
Yep.
So I'll lay down and 9 times out of 10, worst case scenario, it just alleviates it a little bit, but most of the time it works.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
man, I've started doing live sessions. It was like, whenever I have a slow day with sessions, I'm like, dude, why am I not giving a session to somebody? Why am I not just going live? So I think I've only done it like 3 times, but if I do them for free. So if ever dude, first of all, I forgot to say, thank you so much, dude, for how many people you've sent me. I mean, it is off the charts, dude.
Yeah.
Like if I was going to be like, okay, who has sent me the most clients? The Reconnection, where I advertise I don't advertise anymore, but the Reconnection or Rick Lopp, dude, it's like not even like funny, bro. Like I appreciate it so much, but I am doing live, and now, not that many people can afford. I think we talked about this, like the type of work that we do when the economy gets crazy. Dude, we're not top priority. It's my kids need shoes. I got the insurance coming up. You know what I mean? Like food, fucking eggs cost like $9 a dozen. You know what I mean? It's that. And so, look, it's 3:33. I just got a text.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, thank you for always like sending people my way, dude. And if you mentioned like I'm going live and doing free sessions.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, because I get people like that a lot. It's not uncommon at all to get somebody who is dealing with some kind of situation, or sometimes people just straight up ask about energy work.
Yeah.
And that's a very, very common thing for people to talk about. And I'll say, hey, go to Case. I've even I don't know if they're still doing it, but I mean, it's not uncommon at all. Over the last couple of months, I've sent about 10 people your way. I don't know if they've made their way to you or not, but
some of them have for sure.
It's good. It's good to hear. It makes me feel good that it serves a purpose. because that even if they need you more than me, just to be the one to direct them in that direction, I feel like I'm doing my job, you know? So
Nice.
yeah, that's good
I
stuff.
appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Well, you want to keep going, or you want to just wrap this up, bro?
Well, here in a few, I am going to have to be going here in the next 15 minutes or so, but
okay.
It's up to you.
I'm good. Yeah. All I got to do is teach my daughter how to drive a stick.
Oh,
which, dude, is not going, like, it's pretty crazy, dude. Like, yeah, I grew up on a stick, you know, because like, you know, I was born in '66, so like a lot of sticks back then.
Yeah.
And yeah, those first like 3 sessions, it was like, you know, I'm just like going, yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool. Like,
yeah,
we're easing this in, man. You know what I mean? Like we're doing some feathering here. You know
yeah.
I mean?
That is, it's hard to teach, isn't it? Like,
because
that's all I ever had was stick shifts. Because my grandpa taught me how to ride a motorcycle when I was like 10 years old.
Yeah.
So with the motorcycle, the clutch is your hand, and you shift with your foot. So it wasn't too hard for me to figure out how to shift over to a car. It's like, okay, I do the hand thing with my foot and the shifting with my hand. So I picked it up pretty quickly. But it wasn't until I got that Camaro that was a 6-speed stick shift that I was going to try to teach Leah how to do it. And I'm trying to explain it, and there's just certain, I don't know how to teach it, you know, because there's a lot more to it than just let your foot out.
Oh no,
start going.
Yeah. There's, but it's so like ingrained in people that grew up on a stick. You're like, dude, it's not that tough.
Yeah.
So finally, after the third time, and it didn't seem to be getting any better, I was like, hey man, why don't you watch a video while I drive out to a place where there's no cars? You just watch a video. And so I'm listening to this video, and this dude's talking about like the moment the clutch starts, the gears start to bite. And for some reason, as soon as he said that, I was able to like give her a lesson, like using the terminology that I just heard him use. And it was the best ever. And I was like, holy shit, dude, we made some progress today, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
But I mean, like when it comes to more than just taking off, but like when it's coming to, because I'm a big downshifter, you know, when I'm slowing down, I downshift. And trying to explain to Leah, okay, well, when you're slowing down, you throw it down into the next gear. Well, how fast do I have to be going?
You gotta hear it, man. Yeah, you gotta feel it. I hear it, man. You're like, can't you hear the engine revving? Like, that's not enough. That's too much. That's not what you're supposed to hear. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool though. Kiddos are growing up then, huh?
Yeah. No, she's 19. She's been driving automatic, and I told her, I was like, you know, I'll get this FJ Cruiser for you, but it's a stick. And she's like, oh, I want a stick. And she was like, that'd be cool. Nobody else would be able to drive it. And I'm like, dude, nobody should be driving your car anyway. That's, you know, but yeah, especially with that age, dude. No, what percentage of people drive a stick? Like
nobody.
Friggin' nobody, dude.
Nobody.
So yeah.
So that actually is cool. That's right. If
it is cool.
A 19-year-old that could drive a stick, that's badass.
And when I drive that thing, I actually pick that instead of taking the Tesla out. Like I forgot what it was like to friggin' drive. I mean, I'm literally driving the car. You know what I mean? Like when you're shifting, like you're like, oh, dude, we're doing this together, man. You know, with the Tesla, it's like, it's kind of like autopilot, you know. It's like
yeah, because we got one of those electric vehicles now.
Oh, nice. What'd you get? She's
got that Lexus. It's all electric.
Oh, nice.
We had to, because we were really, in order to move, we had 3 cars. We had she had an Audi, we had a BMW, and my truck. And when we were moving, we didn't want to move 3 vehicles.
Yeah.
And we were tired of having 3 payments anyways.
Yeah.
So we were so upside down. We had so much negative equity that they wouldn't let us do anything. They said, but we can put you in an electric car. And we're like, no, I don't want that. So we went to another dealership. No, we can't do anything unless you get an electric car. Nope, I don't want to do that. We went to 3 or 4 dealerships. They all said the same thing. You have too much negative equity. The only way we can do anything is if you get an electric car. So finally I'm like, look, babe, I think we're getting an electric car.
Yeah.
So we got it, and it's pretty nice. It's a nice bougie ass, neat.
Dude, the speed, the acceleration is like, I mean, you had that whatever Camaro,
The Camaro, yeah.
Yeah, the 2.6 in 6 seconds, 62, 0 to 60 in 2.6, like something.
Yeah.
But I'd never had a car that went that fast. I'm like, oh my God, dude, this is cool. I'm taking this. I don't really like electric in the Colorado. We're talking about the stupidest shit, but I guess it doesn't really matter. I don't like an electric car in we're supposed to get like 320 miles on our range.
Mm.
But in the wintertime, dude, we get like $160.
Oh shit.
So it's like almost false advertising. In the summer, it's cool, you know.
Well, one thing I've noticed too is that it seems like, I don't know about the Teslas, but with Leah's Lexus, it's opposite of a regular car that gets really, really good range around town, but it's horrible on the highway. Horrible. When she gets on the highway, you can watch that thing go down.
Just like
Yeah.
That makes
So,
sense, I guess. I think they do I think the optimization is probably like for gas too. It's like, yeah, if you go 55 miles an hour, it'll go forever. He's like, yeah, well, who goes 55 miles an hour, dude? Like yeah, I'm not gonna go 55 miles an hour on the highway. You know, our speed limit's like 85, I think. So
oh wow.
Yeah, we're pretty loose here in Colorado.
We weren't even able to make it from Southern California to Las Vegas. She had to stop and charge, and all the charging stations were all fucked up, you know, and she had cats in the car. Her car's all jam packed, and it was not a fun process moving that thing from California to here. But other than that, it's pretty cool. It's interesting.
Yeah,
you know,
cool.
It was a big adjustment having to pull the car into the garage and plug it up every day, you know?
Yeah, totally.
People are like, oh, you got on the electric car bandwagon. I'm like, no, well, first of all, we had to. We didn't choose.
Yeah, we were forced to.
But it is pretty interesting. You know, I'm like, well, if obviously the universe is like, you're getting an electric car, I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't know. People are like, ever since like Trump got elected, people are like saying, how are you liking your Tesla now? And I'm like, dude, it's awesome. Like,
what do they mean by that?
Nothing going to break down, and like it's faster than anything I've ever driven. Like,
What
I
do
don't
they mean
know.
by that?
I guess there's like this supposedly like this pushback against electric cars. I don't really know. I don't really follow what's going on to the point where I realized I wasn't like.
Well,
I was out of the loop with an electric car or something. I don't know.
Well, I know that there's so right now Trump has Elon Musk as the one auditing the government. Mm-hmm. So now there's this big backlash of all the people that's been wasting money. They're pissed off. So they're getting everybody to turn against Elon Musk. So Teslas are getting vandalized and stuff like that now because Elon Musk is the one showing all the bullshit they've been spending. So that unless
how could you be mad at that?
Exactly.
Like how could you be mad when you find out that we're sending $50 million of condoms to Hamas? Why are we sending $50 million worth of condoms to anybody? Like that kind of stupid shit. Like that upset people. I don't get it.
I don't know. It's a mess, but
I don't know.
I don't know what that would have to do with your Tesla. Now, so the people who say that, are they like people who like Trump or hate Trump?
I think they hate Trump.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like,
I'm like,
what do you think of how you like your Tesla now? Like, I don't know. It's completely silent and it goes 0 to 60 in like 3 seconds. And I've never had to do anything on it besides change tires. I don't know. I can kind of dig it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like no oil changes, no gas stations, none of that. So, you know.
Well, it's like, ask them, how do you like your Volkswagen? That was Hitler's car, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Silly shit, man. People are silly, but we're getting to it. We're getting to it,
dude. It's all going to be good, man. I've never bought into the big purple wave. I mean, no, I shouldn't say that. I did buy into that. I did buy into this big solar flash that's coming that'll immediately like awaken people to this, this fourth density heart chakra love thing, everything will melt away. I don't really buy into that now. I think it's, it's just happening individually,
Yeah.
I don't know where was I going with that? I lost my train of thought. Anyway, it must not have been important.
Yeah, we're getting there though. It's just going to be a slow process. That's the thing that I think, like when you mentioned that people just want to ascend, I think the thing they don't really understand is you can't just ascend. Even if you did that, even if they stuck you in a machine that would raise your frequency immediately, it would kill you.
Yeah. It's like, now that you said that, it kind of reminds me of what I was talking about was, I'm not like a huge Bible scholar, but I started watching Aaron Abke, who has great videos on Law of One, but he was talking about Paul and how, you have these Christians that, they live like what Jesus said, what Yeshua said. And then you have like these Christians that are like these, basically they're following Paul. And so Paul's basically, I could be butchering this, but Paul's basically like, you have to accept Jesus Christ as your savior. If you do that, you're going to heaven. Like, it doesn't matter if you're a good person, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. And so if you are a good person, but you don't accept Jesus Christ, you're going to hell. And so I kind of just thought about when you said that, I like that flash. It's like, no, dude, you have to be a good person, bro.
Yeah.
Like a solar flash can't come and make you ascend if you're a piece of shit that's always judging everybody, and you're like that's not. You can't skip it.
Yeah.
There's no skipping the grade unless you like learn how to be a good person, dude.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we're getting there though.
We are getting there, dude.
Yeah, I'm going to be having to go ahead and hop on out of here though.
Yeah,
man.
me too, dude. I can't believe that we went for this long. But
yeah, it's all good.
Okay.
But yeah, just let me know sometime and we'll set up another one and chat again sometime.
Awesome, dude. I look forward to it, man. Have a great night.
All right. Peace.
Okay. See you guys.
All
Peace.
right.